So CFL came around, and long story short, 2015, it was just a eye-opener. It was like, damn, this shit tough.
CFL?
Man, I did a workout in IMG. I don't see Vince Young, Noel Devine, like great college great. So I'm like, oh, I think seeing shit like that made me realize they ain't around up here.
Yeah.
This is NFL number 2.
Welcome back to another episode of Javien University. Today, we got a Florida State legend in the building. National champion, Orlando town hero, hometown hero. I'm excited for this episode. We got Kenny Shaw in the building. What's good, bro?
Man, what's good? I'm thank you for having me, man. I'm my bad with the scheduling, but I told old girl, I said, man, I gotta do this one.
I appreciate you coming through, man. It's all love. I know we both got busy schedules, but at the end of the day, I love what you got going on. You know, busy is always good. And, you know, one of the things that I wanted to talk about in this episode, it actually stuck with me when I went to your camp a couple weeks ago, was resiliency. Before we really dive deep into it, I saw this quote/definition of it. And it was like, resilience is the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavior flexibility and adjustments to external and internal demands. So one thing that I wanted to talk about with you is you was an undersized receiver, but you really was also like one of the most shiftiest, crisp route runners that we wasn't on the same team. You left right when I got to Florida State. And you play in the CFL too, but I came a little bit later. But even just training every year, I'm like, bro really like that. So like, what does resilient mean to you and your story?
Shit, a lot of people think it's, when you're talking about football, like, you know, crisp route running, all that shit, it's like, man, that was undersized. That was the least of my worries growing up. You know, resiliency is more so like life. We can't escape certain things. And, you know, at the end of the day, we are product of our environments, whether we want to realize it or not. We just got to kind of figure it out if we want to stay in that or we want to just look further, which is, you know, it's hard, you know, looking past that fence where you come from. But, you know, through the game of football, it was one of my ways out, you know. So resiliency was like one of them things where you've seen so much, you overcome so much. So, you know, why stop now? And I thank the Lord for giving me that mindset just through them dark times, you know, because it's easy to just quit and just hang it up. And I feel like we are who we going to be. You know, it's already in our core. We just got to peel back layers and just get there. So, you know, my mom always told me, you start something, you got to finish it. So I kind of like kept that in my back of my mindset through, like, when things get tough, or, you know, I started football, they said, you're undersized. What I'm going to do, just believe them. You know what I mean? Hell nah. I'm going to work with vengeance. Vengeance was my word in football. It wasn't even resilient, it was vengeance. So you probably can attest to it. You know, the eye test, you know, what the fuck is that? You know, excuse my language.
Nah, you good.
But no, go ahead. But go ahead. It's like, come on now. You don't even know where I'm come from.
Right. But see, that's the thing. Like, that's just the way of the world that we live in with football. You know, passing the eye test, like somebody gonna get more opportunities based off of just their presence alone versus like work ethic or, you know, who knows. But at the end of the day, like, someone like you, the way that you came about everything is about being a dog. Yeah. And with you talking about coming out of that dark time, like, how do you apply your football mindset to what you got going on now? Like, I was going to ask this later, but since we on this topic early, with you and Shaw's Raw Academy, what do you apply from your football lessons to that? Because it's a growing brand. Yeah. You get hundreds of kids to come out. Your camp is a success every time. Not only is it just a camp, it's like a business. It's a well-oiled machine. How does that translate to what you're doing now?
Shoot, it translates in so many ways that I didn't even know jumping into it. I just jumped in because the Lord said, man, you love giving back to the kids. Keep that going. So starting off with the business aspect of it, you know, it's football. Like I said, I started this. What mama say, I started it, so I got to finish it. So in these finishing is step by step, you know, and you just got to move strategically, and you're going to mess up. And that's one of the things that, you know, I do preach in my academy is things going to happen. You just got to adjust. That comes with football. You know, we can be coached all day. We can, hey, the DB going to do this, the receiver going to do this, and what you going to do if he don't? So, adjustment is very big, and somebody spoke of it, the team locker room. That's relationships. And I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much your business look like it's doing X, Y, Z. If you don't build good relationships, everything gonna falter you.
Yeah.
Number one, your happiness. And, I'm still building. I'm still learning, share some humility every day, because I ain't perfect, but I do know that, I got a good village for me. And when I do speak to people, I give them me. And that kind of came after fatherhood, truthfully. I ain't always been like this. I ain't always thought like this. People be thinking like, oh, that's a well-groomed young man. But nah, I just got like this. But everybody start on their own timeline. And right now, I'm passionate about this.
Yeah.
Few things in life I'm passionate about, and this is one of them.
I think a lot of people, when they see you at the current form you at, they may not really know what you had to go through to get to where you at. And even with me, it's like, whether it's with my relationship with God and making the content about, being, I guess, bold and going public about my relationship with God, they may think, oh, you always been like this, but it's like, nah, bro, you know who I used to be. You feel me? Like, huh?
Nah, I'm saying for real though.
Yeah. So it's just like, when you navigating in this space right here with building relationships, how do you go about doing that? Because you honestly, bro, like, when I look from the outside in, you got sponsors from everywhere. Like you it seems like you really know how to network, and you like, how do you go about building those relationships? Because someone might not really know, is it a networking thing, or is it just like, some people may be nervous about networking because they think of it as like for selfish reasons. Yeah. So like, how do you go about that?
Nah, I think it, like you said, everything starts with your core. Product of my environment was, I can't see past the fence, but I've always saw past the fence, whether through my grandpa or somebody in an exterior side other than my family. And, my mom always told me, open up your mouth. And I didn't. I'm 32. I ain't hear her out till I turned 30. It's hard, asking for help. It's hard shedding some humility. It's hard saying, as a man, communicating that you don't know what to do, because this world looks down on you and it tells you ain't supposed to be right there. So you find yourself comparing, you find yourself just all over the place, scattered. And next thing you know, I feel like the devil, like, he cheering because you ain't gonna push through. So, in the business, when I first pitched my mission, it was a lot of like soft nose. And, you look at yourself, you like, damn, like, y'all supported me with my cleats on. You should want to do this. You would think that. And, the soft nose, it deterred me a little bit. And it kind of made me like realize, like, damn, like, thankfully, like, I like to take ownership with everything, like, extreme ownership, hard as shit. So, the Lord was telling me, just keep working. And after those 6 months of just like soft nose, like, Pepsi was my first sponsor. And me looking outside in was just like, I didn't see the severity. I didn't see the importance of this first sponsorship to get me off the ground. Those soft nose turned to, oh, you're friends with Pepsi, can we come back on board? And now that's when you be thankful just to hearing and going through certain shit. So it's like, when it comes to networking, I always like approach situations. Now that I know my core of my networking is, I start off with, how can I help you first? That's how I started off with this foundation. I was training kids pro bono. Right. And they're like, Shaw, you be a thousandaire off of just training alone. It's like, nah. Yeah. I was once that kid. Tom Shaw invited me out of high school. Yeah. Mama Shaw couldn't pay for them prices at Wild Water Sports.
Yeah, but he showed love.
So it's like the core, you start to remember things sometimes when you put into those similar situations. And I just wanted to give them, and I saw kids crashing out and they just needed the ears. And that's when I kind of formed that, my shit is mentoring, mental health, all that. Then it just started branching off different ways. Now you see I like golf. Yeah. I hated fucking golf.
I'm trying to get into golf.
I hated golf, man. Now I got a damn golf app and they're doing a golf tournament soon. So it's like, man, life just feel like it's just a simulation of just buckle up,
When you talk about the soft nose, like, I think those are necessary. a lot of times, because even with me, through my experience, like sometimes, like say I'm writing a book, right?
Yeah.
And I know like I have a great story, not because it's just me and I'm being biased. It's because like what I hear from so many people. So when I like pitch this or when I show these people and they like, you don't really have a big name. You know, you don't really have a huge following. It's just like they want people that's going to move the needle, blah, blah. So it's like, dang, like I just need an opportunity, right? But at the same time, when I look back on those no's in the book world, it's like that resembles what I went through in the football world.
Facts.
And then it resembles everything I went through in my life. So it's like, why would I expect anything different? I like everything that I had to go through, I had to get it out the mud. Yeah. So like for anybody watching this, there is going to be times where rejection is going to come into play, whether it's through football, whether it's through careers, all this other stuff. So I think sometimes rejection is necessary. And it might
definitely. And also too, I see in this society too, you know, talking to little kids is, you know, the encouragement factor went down. You know, like we don't encourage each other enough. Like we don't be like, damn, bro, good shit no more. Like, you know, and even me handing you your flowers, it's like we didn't play together, but it's like you had a hell of a run. You know how many walk-ons people go to JUCO? I watched Last Chance. That shit. Hey, Javien, bro, that shit real deal. Like, I'm gone. Like, you know what I mean? And I even watch in the perspective of I've seen players who on there who I've been in the same receiver room with. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like
my teammates were on there too. You know.
So it's like, man, prospering pro careers. Like, man, you know, I'm curious to know your goddamn story. You know what I mean? Because it's like, hey, you know, I dap you up out of just, you know, you ain't got no bad blood, and just like a part of that too is like there's respect. And I think that in the football world, that's the thing. It's like I respect you. You know?
Yeah.
But that's why I don't know. It's a few things that we just got to get better with, and that's what I just try and implement in the foundation little by little.
That's going to take younger athletes beyond football, because like when we talk about life after football, right, I think football prepares, if you go about it the right way, football prepares us, especially the higher you go for the outside world and your careers and your in whatever endeavor you go. Yeah. Because a lot of times businesses love for athletes to come in and speak, because like they're always trying to learn about mindset. Yeah. Like you played on a national championship football team. People want to know, how do we win? What did y'all do that can help us win? I think just instilling those things in younger athletes, and whatever business we go in, we should be fine, because you've been a pro. Yeah. You know, you have a 1% mindset. You know, people that go to school for years may know the knowledge, but you know, that 1% mindset is different. Yeah. So we can apply it to anything. So really, all right. So we just mentioned some of your pro career, right? I want to talk about your NFL and CFL experience. Let's kind of like go through that a little bit. How was that? Like, what was your path? And
the path was like one of those toxic female relationships that you love her and she bring you joy, but she also, you can't find a number on her. You don't know what it is that make you not fully trusted. And that's pros. College, you got a lot of love. Yeah. A lot of love. And I don't know if that's because it's not as political, but it is in my era. Right. Nowadays, it's business. NIL. But it's like the pro was making it there. Now in my mindset, I'm very appreciative, because I look at where I started out in life. In the moment, it was like, this shit don't make sense. And I can't tell nobody fully that I don't really love it like I used to. Each year, no matter doing good or bad, it's like, I don't know if I love it, but I love this camaraderie. I love building relationships. Like, and it's a part of football that you always have to take advantage of. And that's what Tom Shaw used to say, be nice to people. Be nice to people. And it makes sense. Like, cause it feel good 10 years later getting back with the guys, or just talking about old shit, and not even football story. It can be nightlife. It can be whatever it is you went through. But it's the pro career started out shifty for two reasons. probably the team I went to first, Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Johnny Manziel there. I'm his roommate.
You was Johnny Manziel.
Man, hey, that boy.
you gotta give us
Johnny Crowell and Taylor Gabriel. When you in like that extended stay look, you ain't in no full place, but man, just I was seeing shit that it was like, damn, I'm over here walking on pins and needles, and this dude just
not caring about nothing.
Not Josh Gordon was on that team. Hey, he is the most rawest, unserious. Like, hey, he raw.
Yeah.
But he'll come in PJs and do some crazy shit. You know what I mean?
He gifted. So like you went to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. You left like 2016, huh?
2014.
2014.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, undrafted, going to Cleveland. What was that like in that environment, being Johnny Manziel's roommate? Like what, like? Man,
you were just trying to adjust. Like, it's different in Tallahassee, obviously, but it was also too, it's like, it was business, and you can feel that. You can feel that much. So you get to business early. You study. You try to do everything like a pro, and then, boom. What comes with football sometimes is injuries. Mm-hmm. And I just remember, like, damn, like, they made me try and get up to 192, and I ain't never been that weight. Look, that ain't, man, I don't get groovy at 190. Look, that shit, like, hey, he laughing, but hey, for real, that like with too much shit, man.
That's your game.
192, pull a hamstring after I just eclipsed the second team with Hoyer. And I'm getting groovy. I'm talking about, I'm going against Poirier them.
Yeah.
So it's like, hamstring, after you put a hamstring, it's like communication get less with you, and you're like, oh man, y'all just hanging with me. Now you find out about the Grim Reaper, so you see him every day coming in and out, grabbing people, so you just watching them, and they do the most weirdest little routes to get to you sometimes. he went in the bathroom, did this, got some Gatorade. Then he come ask for your iPad. And then, truth be told, to get on a serious note, it was like the first thing I thought about, honestly and truthfully, was I done let some folks down. And I already know that I come from a city of I got a lot of support, but I also know that everybody don't love you.
Right.
And that's kind of tough to face as an athlete who you just trying to put on for. You ain't even playing for yourself at that point. And you don't realize that till later on in your career when you hang it up. So it was tough. Like, I didn't even know myself, like, in that quick of a moment. I was on top of the world, and it was just like, damn, I'm on a flight. Like, your homeboys you don't made in that time, you don't even know what to say to them. Like, you know what I mean? You're trying to keep it positive, tell them keep going, but you ain't in that mindset. So I just remember after that point, it was the first time too in my career that I realized that it was a quick ass chain reaction. Like, agent got funny. And at that point, it was like, I've been peep game on him that he was money based. And that kind of made me make my decision on, just part ways, because, Javien, at that point, the signing cars, all that shit, I was getting off the strength of my name, and he was still trying to get a cut. And it was just like, bro, this is my work. So it's just like, bro, you get to a point where you could be like, you start to compare agents, start comparing people's lives, and you be like, man, this agent helping him for life after ball. Mine's ain't even ask me that even question. Yeah. You know what I mean? We need to know that question early, and that's why I talk to kids now, like, bro, what you like to do outside the ball?
Yeah.
You got to know that early.
But see that comes from, you do have some agents, I don't want to just put everybody in the same bucket.
I ain't name them, but go ahead.
We ain't even got to name it, because it's really like, I haven't had an agent ask me what I want to do with life after football. And I done had a couple agents. Yeah. An agent's obligations in their mind is contract negotiations, marketing, management. Yeah. Life after football, figure it out. Like, dang, like, it's like, I've had situations where I have things that I want to do off the field, and I don't really get the support from people that I would expect that will support me, like agents, managers, etc. Yeah. But it's okay. Like, you just take it for what it is and move accordingly. But my thing is, with you being there and realizing like how people wasn't really for you, like that's real too. Because mine may not have necessarily came from football and having a lot of people around. Mine's more so came from like, okay, I kind of started building my relationship with God and started weeding some things out. And then people, whether it was God moving it from my life or not, it was just like you start seeing, you don't really hear from people like that no more. So like, I think in the football world, that's always going to be a thing.
Yeah.
That's always going to be a thing, bro. Like,
now that you look at it, it's like, you said a mouthful, because it's like, you think God just putting you through a test, but really he like getting you together for more greatness. And, if you can tell somebody, and both of us been cut and ridiculed and shamed, I think, like you just said, like you give him all your issues, you be good for life. And sometimes, like, I don't know what the navigation system got in. GPS ain't even in. I just sometimes be like, man, Lord, like, just help me out. Like,
you just navigating on.
They help me. Hey,
faith. GPS. Hey, God, where do you want me to go?
For real.
What's the direction?
And the crazy part is you even be knowing in your head when you crashing out.
Right.
And then you still shaming him. You still questioning him. And it'd be like, damn, he don't looked out for me. How can you not keep going back to him? You know what I mean? So it's like, when you get to the pros after that Cleveland stint, I kept my faith up, obviously, because your agent, he still sees some glimmer of hope. He was right. 2 weeks later, I got a stint with the Raiders contract. Tom Shaw obviously had some ties with it. And, you make the cut, so you feel good. You're like, damn, man, I'm on P Squad. And my meet and seat mate is Janikowski, who is Florida State legend. Yeah, so it's like, so the season going good. Like, you spend I spent my last 6 months on P Squad, and then those exit meetings came. And that's when I found out. I was like, man, what's going on, man? This NFL shit is nuts. Because the word in the locker room, like, hey, we get a new whole staff.
Yeah.
And I'm fresh there. I'm 6 months. Of course, they're going to keep the 10-year vets, this and that. And my agent was hollering at me. He was like, hey, man, what you think about CFL? And that was the point in my life that I was like, again, I went right back to the same mindset getting cut from Cleveland. It was just like, how am I going to tell people what happened? Because I don't be liking to explain myself too when I'm going through shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Like, it'd be like, it's a long ass story to tell them from Cleveland to Oakland to the exit meetings.
Yeah.
And they going to ask you.
They going to ask because people, that's one of the things that you always going to be asked about. If you're a football player, what's your next move? Were you still playing? What's up? And sometimes it gets irritating,
man,
because everywhere you go, and you from here, like you like me. If I'm here, I can go places, and it's like, But when I'm in my hometown, or when I'm running to people that know me,
different.
And you're not on the team, they like, you get tired of hearing that, bro, because you ain't trying to.
And truthfully, you come up with little ass lies too. You be like, "Hey, I'm finna be on somewhere next week or next 2 weeks," and it's just to get them out your face.
Yeah.
But it'd be like you say, you look back on it now, you be like, "Damn, man, I was not confident. Like I was confident on the field, but off the field, I was very insecure. I was very just like I said. I got to the point I wasn't even playing for myself no more. Wasn't fun. I was just traumatized from the business aspect of it. Like, oh, I can't get too comfortable here. You know what I mean? Like, so CFL came around, and long story short, like 2015, it was just a eye opener. It was like, damn, this shit tough.
The CFL?
Man, I did a workout in IMG. I don't see Vince Young, Noel Devine, like great college greats get cut. So I'm like, oh, I think seeing shit like that made me realize they ain't fucking around up here.
Yeah.
This is NFL number 2.
It is, and also it's like
it's tough.
It's tough, and it's not catered for Americans. That's the only way to say it, bro. I don't mean no disrespect, because I played in the CFL. That gave me an opportunity.
No disrespect.
I have nothing but love for that league. But if you have a certain amount of slots that's designated for Canadians, it's some people that's gonna get the short end of
the ratio.
The ratio. So. For the people who may not know what the ratio is, like just to give them an idea, it's like on a 46-man roster, it has to be 21. That's Canadian. It's somewhere around there.
21.
And then on the field, you have to have eight designated starters.
Yes.
So that's Canadian. So right then alone, it's like if you're American, you got to get in where you fit in. You either gonna be that guy that's starting, or you gonna be that guy that's attributing on special teams.
Sorry.
If you the designated, the DI or the DA, whatever you call it. So even though Americans may have more talent up there, that don't always equate to playing well up there.
Yeah,
you gotta.
And it's different styles. It's like it's harder. You got receivers waggling at you.
Yeah.
As a receiver, that is the most running. That shit might be more than 4-quarter drills. And you never think you're gonna get more conditioning than college conditioning.
Right.
Summer camps. But CFL they used to do power practices where it's like back to back. You do 2 hours, then take a 15-minute break, then another hour 30 practice. Yeah. And it's like the second one, at least we chill it. No, it's still tempo.
Right. It's
pretty much you got to be in shape.
Yeah.
And you also, like you say, you got to get in where you fit in, and you got to understand the game. And I think after that 2015, I was humbled in a sense because I just came from the Raiders on practice squad for 6 months. That means I'm damn near about to get in the game. You know what I mean? And then you go to 2015 to CFL, and you're like, damn, I did P squad the whole year, but I understood it because it was hard. The plays, the terminology, how to tempo your route. It wasn't the same play like it was down south football. So after that exit meeting in 2015, it was like, hey, you can do some numbers up here. You just got to trust how we coaching you. Come back in the summer, and you're going to do good.
Yeah. And
literally, I played 0 downs in 2015 with the Argonauts. The next year, 1,000+ yards. And it was just like, damn, and in the CFL, it was in a sense where it's like, now, truth be told, you're like, damn, Lord, thank you. You know what I mean? Because practice squad year counts as a year up there.
Right.
And all you need is one good year for a contract. So I'm talking to the agent back. He back. Turned up.
Look, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, that nigga back. Like, hey, man. Look, top top Southern receiver in the CFL, man. They talking good numbers, this and that. So I signed a contract and left them in the first game after that 1,000-yard contract. First game. ACL, MCL, PCL. Damn. You see the up and downs?
Yeah.
And how I was saying before camera, you got them times of life where it's like you designate, it ain't just 1 year, it's like timeline of it, like from 2015 to 2020.
Yeah.
And you traumatized. You can't even get comfortable being happy.
Right.
And I ain't never had surgery, and just hearing that doctor say, man, you won't be able to run to about 2.5 years. And in life, that's when you shut down. Everything is like when the power go out, you like, oh shit, you shocked.
Yeah, for real.
What?
You start to be numb to a lot of things,
man,
bro.
Look,
because you said something earlier that it was just like you was confident on the field, but off the field, it was like, insecurities, and it's not like just you. It's a lot of people out there like that. And I've had my own ways of doing it. It's like the football world, everything it's cutthroat.
Yeah.
Ain't no sugarcoat. It's cutthroat. Like, don't expect no coach to pacify you. Like,
you're gonna have good coaches along the road, learn the road, but don't expect.
And because of that, like a lot of that model, like you got to have that image, that persona in the locker room that carried over into relationships. So it's like that's like toxic.
Very much so.
It's toxic. You're not knowing how to flip that switch. And that's kind of one of the things that I had. It was just like I was off the field, numb to a lot of things because of the ups and downs. Losing that emotional touch, like not really having emotions like that. You feel me? Like, I would be happy and all of that stuff, but I mean, like, to really be in depth, to really be able to connect with certain things, it was just like, I don't know, it was tough for me outside of football. But with you and the CFL, what happened after that injury? Like, how did you recover from that? Like, did you recover from that?
I like to think I did at first, but I know I didn't. I crashed out. I hit my boy up, and I was like, man, I'm finna tell the coach tomorrow. it was first game of the year. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they trying to kumbaya you and say it's going to be all right, but you already know the business side. You waiting on something. Mm-hmm. So you get numb. You don't even want to talk to your mama. And I remember shutting myself off for like, even in rehab, I shut myself off for like 4 weeks. That's all I can do up there. I told the coach, I said, hey, I'm going to finish out the rest of the season. You can just mail the checks back home. Like, I don't even want to be near this shit. Like, I don't even want to put that energy on my teammates on game day and pretend that I'm wanting to see these boys go all the way. I don't give a fuck right now. Like, and that's just me being honest. In the moment, it was like, I ain't never sat down that long, you know? So, I remember coming back home, and mind you, I met Alex in high school before I went to college in Florida State. Like, he got me right before Florida State. And so I always knew him at home, and, you know, T. Shaw was a good plug, man. And I thank him to this day. I still hit him up time to time, but I haven't seen Alex from high school until that moment in 2017. It was like, so that's a big ass gap. Yeah. And just getting back with him was what I needed at the time. You know, Alex is a guy who, you know, he's transparent, he's informational, he is calming. He makes his corny jokes. You know, Alex. Yeah. But he gave me hope. And, you know, in the midst of all that, you know, he gonna push you. That's one thing about Alex. That workout gonna be tougher than just a regular ass workout when you healthy. Core, you know, it's core. Yeah. And the dude 50 plus, you know, he don't look it. Yeah. But Alex shaved my time down from 2.5 years to a year, some change. Wow. And that's when Saskatchewan hit me up. And I just remember getting back into it again. It felt like Cleveland vibes again. I don't know if it was the city. I don't know if it was just the time of life I was in, but it just I didn't feel no true love again. Like, damn, I'm back. Like, I've been asking for this moment since I injured it. Now I'm back, and I'm still like, you know, I'm going to work because I'm a competitor. I'm a dog, but it's like, I can be good without this. And I just remember in that year, that's when I started journaling. And, you know, I kind of asked you about your book because, you know, I've been journaling since 2018. It ain't like every week type journal. It's like when I'm going through some shit, or just, you know, when I want to write down a proud moment. It gets dark, but it's just like, it's me. And that's what the name of the journal is, The Real Me. The Real Me. And I remember writing in that shit, and it was just like, it was therapeutic. It was just like, damn, this shit feel good. You know, even though I'm going through this and I should be happy and blah, 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 this makes me feel a little bit at peace. And from that time on, truthfully, moving forward, it was just like, I slowly became to the point where, you know, I was just waiting on something to happen just to tell somebody, like, man, I'm done anyway. You know, I just wanted to pull an Antonio Brown. You know, just off the strength of it. But, you know, I always like to be respectful. But I just remember at the time in Edmonton, the last team I was with, I had told old girl, I'm going to get this one last shot. Because they still asking me, and I'm trying to walk away. But I even got into coaching at that point in 2019, going back to school, graduation. It's a whole timeline. I'm probably going in circles, but
nah, you good.
Goddamn, I went back to school in 2019 and finished up 12 hours. And, you know, I had Blackman and Pokey and them, the receivers, getting work in with me. And that's when I realized I fucking like coaching. They being receptive. I'm in the film room with them. I don't even want no dollars from them. I'm incognito with it. And, you know, the media gonna catch it at one point. Yeah. They caught it. And that's when I went back home, and I was like, I like coaching, man. I'm gonna turn Shaw's Raw shit into like an acronym and serious, you know, and fans love Shaw's Raw, but I turned into resilient athletes worldwide because, you know, it wasn't easy going back. It was just like weird. It was college town. It wasn't the move. Yeah, man, I had to. And it was just like, man, I'm in a town home with a college kid, and he on some party and shit. And I'm like, man, you know what I mean? What is this? You know what I mean? Like, they admitted me a week before classes started. And I was just like, man, this little error, I don't like it. It was after Jimbo, and this little error, I don't like it too much. You know what I mean? Like, it don't feel like love. Like, bro, I wanted this for me. Like, they can't take the paper away from me. So I need to get it. But, damn, y'all making this tough. So I got to find a place in a week and get up and go to Tallahassee. And that's a part of me that is like, if I want something, I'm going to get it. Yeah. That's my core. Vengeance. So 2021, after that COVID year, it was just like, they want to give you another shot, Edmonton. So I'm like, man, look, I get on one and I'm going to see if I like it.
Right.
So I worked my ass off that offseason in sand pit, no training, but I was still getting it. And JB, I'll tell you no lie, I got in camp and I even told her, I said, man, give me the vet minimum. You ain't got to pay me. I just want to prove to y'all that I can go still. Yeah. And I just remember that camp, like, I tell you no lie, even my teammates at the time would tell you, man, I tore that damn camp up. I shot myself, look, and it was every day I would tap my son's sonogram picture in my locker.
Yeah.
I had a different push then.
Right.
When they made the exit meetings, I'm with the ones. Guys, they paying six figures, where they at? You know what I mean? Type shit.
Right.
And I just remember exit meeting games at the end. I just knew I made it. I ain't gonna lie. Like, sometimes I know when the cut coming, but sometimes it's like, it just shock you. You be like, oh, wait, I ain't expect this one, you know? And even the teammates, when it happened, it was like, what happened? And I said myself to the coach, I said, hey, on God. That's what the little kids say, on God. Look, on God. I told his ass, I said, hey, as a brother, he was a brother. I said, as a brother, you can't keep moving business like that to these players who just, you know, I don't fully need this, but I wanted it. And you know I earned this. If you see any funny shit coming, that's when you got to pull me to the side. And I'm talking to the coach like this.
Yeah.
You with me every day, seeing I'm grinding. I'm watching film, same film you watching. What's up? You know what I mean? You gotta fight for, if you want to win.
Right. You
gotta fight for this. But I see what type of time y'all on, and I said, thank you for my opportunity.
Yeah.
And I walked out of that exit meeting, and on that flight home, it just felt like I needed to be there, because if I would have played that year, I probably would have missed my son being born.
Just timing.
You get what I'm saying?
You know, like that's, yeah.
Especially
that's what like brought that hunger, that drive in you, like, you know, having your son.
Yeah. But it was good to see. It was good to see for myself and my confidence that this little dude got a effect on me, and he not even here yet. Mm-hmm. So I'm scared as shit still, but I'm waiting. I can't imagine when he get here, and you know, that is my saving grace. You know, like, bro, give me a push. It's a challenge. It's the hardest job you'll ever have, but it's one of them jobs that is like, out of everything I've seen in life, and whether it's good or bad, it all makes sense when I look at him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's football. It took a while to get back in it, but I never fully left the game, and I can tell with how I approach the academy and whatnot. I can't lie to these kids, so it's like you say, you prepare them. Hey, you might get a coach who do this. Hey, be nice to people. Hey, start saving your money. You know, I didn't understand credit, man. It's so much shit that is like, I ain't got no choice but to tell them. I can be learning it in the process of even talking to kids about nonprofits and shit like this. Like, I ain't know this shit.
Yeah.
I'm still learning it, but I can't keep this information inside.
Right.
Got to give it.
Yeah, and that's really like, when you have a pure heart, because that's really what it is. You got a pure heart and you want to see other people get better. You know, that's just, people going to see that, and that's what's going to help you in general. Like, even though you doing it for selfless reasons. You know. So we talk about some of like some of your pro career, but like, what were some of the best moments that you look back on and be like, dang, like, this is something, like, these are some of the best moments throughout my life in the football world? That
obviously everybody remember their first touchdown being scored. That's, everybody got to put that into it. Mm-hmm. But I remember one instance, and I've told this story on a few platforms, but one of the things I look back on and I very much like, I get chills talking about, is I remember being one of them inner city kids crashing out just because of what I'm seeing. Like, I ain't got no example. I think this is a good example. You know what I mean? And it's not. And that's why, you know, the love of football, I will forever, at the end of the day, respect, because it got me out of some situation that it's only two things you would end up dead or in jail. So just telling my mom at one point, 7th, 8th grade, something around that time, I was like, it was one of them times where I seen him come back home, 3 jobs. It was night school. My mom always been in education, geometry teacher. So that's how I was able to go to good schools. You know, I wasn't zoned for the schools I was going to. Mm-hmm. it was just, I was thankful for her being in that system. So just seeing her struggling doing it, you know, solo, it was one of them things where it was like, hey, Mom, I think I'm at the point where I know I'm good at football. I'm going to get us a scholarship. I'm talking right now. I'm 7th or 8th grade, but I believe I'll look past the fence a little bit. And I'm playing with older jits. No, that's me. I'm always going to play with older jits.
Right.
That's why it didn't affect me when they said the eye test of too small, this and that. It was just like, you must don't know, man. I'm playing no pass with 18-year-olds. You know what I mean? I'm only 11. That was always my favorite moment. And obviously, you know, 10th grade, going to USF, sling and shoot, it was a time where it was just like, I'm just going out there. I'm 130 pounds soaking wet. Mohawk. I had a mohawk. You laughing at shit. They call me Mohawk Shaw.
Mohawk Shaw.
You laugh. Hey, you ever look at a picture, you be like, what the fuck is that? Nah, Mohawk Shaw. And man, hey, Javien, we played Treasure Coast. We played some teams in that. We played Pokey, Chris Dunkley, all them boys. Hey, and I lit that motherfucker up. 130 pounds, soaking wet. And Jim Levitt at the time came and was like, man, Shaw, we want to offer your son. And I just remember my mom tearing up right then and there. Like, damn, he told me he was going to do this. And he was just going. And I remember afterwards on the car ride home from Tampa, I was like, Mom, I'm about to commit, man. Hey, I'm that D1, Mom. Look, she said, boy, you don't shut up. Look, many more going to come. And that's when, you know, at the end of the day, whoever gives you the most love, you feel it and it make you keep going. And just hearing that one turn to the 50. And, you know, I tell kids too, they little assholes, but you got to get good grades. You got to be a nice classmate. The football shit resonates in the classroom. Like a college coach can't depend on you if you doing some nut shit. You know what I mean? Like you got a lot of shit to balance when you get to college. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that kids don't understand it until it's too late or when they in it. You know what I mean? Because it's probably even worse nowadays with the money involved. Yeah. So I'd be thankful with certain things that I've seen in life, even though it wasn't the most ideal situation, but we made it work.
Nah, man. Hey, I love what you're doing, bro. Like Shaw's Raw Academy, I didn't even know, man. What it means to get resilience.
Athletes worldwide.
Resilient athletes worldwide, man. Because this episode will come out before the camp. So now that I think about it, you got the camp coming to Panama City. So if you're watching this, make sure you tap in Panama City, my hometown. Show love. I'm gonna be there. Some other Florida State athletes, NFL athletes, we all gonna be there. Come out. It's an opportunity to get better. National champion. Love what he doing. What else you got in the works, man? Like anything?
I got that camp June 15th, by the way. I got a golf tournament August 9th at Deer Island Country Club, and that's one of them things where I tell all my homeboys or people I'm getting back in the groove with is like, man, pick up a golf club. Yeah. You ain't, hey, whatever business you in, whatever, you got folks in there who willing to help you. You got folks who just, sometimes in that 4-hour round, it'd be just therapeutic men session. You know, you just talking about life, and then you build in another locker room. And that's one thing that I am loving about golf. And so August 9th, I'm excited. I got some boys playing. That's why I asked you. I said, is you playing? So I can put it on my list and let y'all go meet. Right. So y'all can mingle with some of the sponsors or whoever want to play in the tournament. So, if you're an athlete and you think you like golf, come to the tournament or reach out to me. It should be good. So I got that, and I always have I do my annual mental health camps. You know, I partnered up with the DCF and like the juvenile and the foster system, where it's like, they give me kids who really bad in mental health, and you know, we do a 2-day camp and just we rock out, nothing sports. Last year we rented out Icon Park, just played, ate, went in the museums, you know, just talked about trauma and just choices, you know, just a influx amount of things. And it's one of them camps where, you know, I always leave it and I'm attached to a kid or two because it's a hell of a story that I don't think I can make it out of, you know what I mean? Shit like that. And he's like, it's one of them things where, you know, kids just need motivation and guidance. Yeah. And it ain't always through sports, but that's just my platform. Right. I can adjust to whatever. So that's one of them camps where, you know, I do look forward to that every year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge, man. It's everything you do about making an impact on people's lives and, you know, helping them become better men. in every way, being healthy, trying not to have them go down that toxic path, and just giving game. So, man, I love what you're doing, bro. Always from the outside looking in, been a fan. Appreciate you for coming through, because I really think that, you know, somebody will be able to get something out of this.
Yeah.
Whether it's through like the resilience, whether it's through just your story, the highs, the lows, we all go through that, and that's kind of what this platform is built about. But really, like, it's about overcoming adversity, and through everything that you went through, gave birth to what you're doing now.
Yeah.
So, love it, bro. Appreciate you coming through, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit up Kenny Shaw again for anything camp related, golf tournament related. So, you know, again, I'll see y'all in the next video.